There we go. So yeah, I think that's enough time. And if this is the case, my goodness, it's gonna be a very light day today. I mean, come on now, what happened? Yeah, I know. I caught it. I caught it early. I caught it early. So what happened? It's like, did everyone forget that you had to turn stuff in, or, I mean, was this weekend hard? What happened? No? No one? Everyone's like, nah, I got mine in. Alright. Who knows? True. Alright, well, Jasmine, we're going to start with you, since you're at the top of the list. Morning. Oh. Okay. Oh, yeah, see, it seems like they're all in. Okay. There's another page. Go figure. Alright, cool. I'm gonna open this up. Well, then, never mind. I'm glad that everyone turned theirs in, and Blackboard was like, no, we're going to do a second page. So, put all my effort into that poster. Okay. Alright. So, I see you tried to do some cool stuff with this one. I mean, I know we talked about it yesterday, and you tried to incorporate some of the things we talked about. So, I still think, oh, I wish I still had it. Yeah, because I didn't save it. I still think that if you're going to try and do something like this, you probably should have went my way. Right? So you come in, get the right brush first. Right? So you come in. Okay? So we had this. And you didn't need to make it, look like wave blue, although you could. I mean, I guess that's fine. Right? But you're like, here's my wave. However you were going to, even if we decided to stick with that, right? We're going to like, oh. We're going to go, alright. We're going to make that blue or whatever, right? Came in, like, alright. So this is blue, right? You're like, alright, blue wave. Right? And maybe it wraps itself off that way. And you're like, wave. Alright? Like, alright, cool. Then it turns into this black thing, right? We got this nice, cool looking S. Or we get a nice, cool looking S, right? And look at some fonts. And then this kind of turns into that anchor. Or whatever. Like, I don't know what an anchor. I'd have to look up an anchor. But, So then this, and you get the stereotypical anchor, right? And it's like, there's my anchor, right? Because then you got C. You got the C. You're like, here's my, my waves and whatnot. There's the ocean. We got an anchor. It's, C. But the thing is that, remember when I said you need that 4, right? You're like, alright, I'm going to do this 4. Move this over. Alright, or over here. Maybe it's a little bit bigger. Like, alright, you're like S4. Alright, you come in, whoops. You go ahead and make that a little bit longer so the S really shows. right? You can bring this around or whatnot. Oh, waves, right? So you got that, and you're like, there's my waves, S, and then you have S4. So you could either leave it like this, right? Once again, I would definitely say you needed to look at an S, right? Maybe like a C font, like a nautical font would be cool if you looked at, or something like that. So there's that. But if you just have an S, right, you can do it like this, so that we see the ocean, we see the sea, right? You have this, then you have your nice little anchor, right, with whatever details or whatever you wanted in there, and then it's like S4. But then I think that looking at this and having a solid color, sorry, stuff went away. Just a second. Okay. By having a solid color, that might not work. So you'd come back in, right, and give this maybe a see-through stroke. Oops. Right, so maybe you even do this instead. Right, so that it kind of sticks out, but it's still there. So you make sure that the stroke is thick enough, but you can tell that the S is the most important part. So then you got that, and then by just writing the text at the bottom, it doesn't work. You kind of gotta put that together in some way, right? Like, hey, and then you put sea salted, and then snacks being really big, right? So that it all lines up in that shape again, right? Then you could also probably even, if you wanted to, right? So you make it like it's just that symbol in a nice rectangle, and then underneath it, it's like sea salted snacks. But if you're gonna go with this whole like little fancy thing, and you're like, hey, look, it's this fancy S in this rectangle thing, you could give us the the patented graphic design class EST 2020, right? You make it smaller if you wanted to. Whoops. Right, you put it like right down here, 2020, something like that, right? Make it seem as though they're together. That's the most important part, is that you make sure everything's together. What's up, Lollipop? How's it going? Right? So that way it looks as though everything is together. Once again, it seems as though you have an image and then you have words. Okay? So those are the two things. It's like they're different. And we need to make sure that they seem like they're going together. Okay? Does that make sense? Alright, let's see what else is here. Alright, let's download this. It's gonna be like that, huh? Alright, let's try this again. Let's save this image as 1. Sure. I'm sorry to hear that, Lollipop. The stream's going pretty well so far. Just trying to help some of my students with their graphic design. If I can, now I just need to find out where it went. Where this last one went, you know, but clearly I need to clear up my my desktop. Thanks. Edna mode's the best. Alright, so while this is very interesting, right? Mine is whack. This is very interesting as far, but it looks more like a restaurant, right? Because it's like Steph's, and you're like, all right, I get it, and it's obviously with a water, but it could be a water park, right? Especially with your kind of with the shine and all the balloon stuff that you kind of got going on. It kind of looks more like an amusement water park than it does salted candies, sea salted candies. And that's the problem, right? It's not giving us enough. It's too much in one direction that makes it look as though it's something else. So this looks as though it is something for it looks like it's for a different project. Yep, Tyler. So like I said, I don't think it's a problem. You have some spacing that I would worry about, right? Here. Let's get a color you can see. Or not, you know. There you go. Spacing there. You know, this is getting close. Okay. You want to make sure that your stroke stays consistent, right? Because here you have nice thick outline, and then here it gets really thin in parts, right? So you got to watch that. But that also adds to the charm of it being like a children's thing. So water park would really work with this. I would actually desaturate your blues, right, to make sure that the yellows pop off, the oranges I mean, and then I would go ahead and get a darker orange. Now go ahead and get a darker orange, because then it pushes, right, it pushes the lighter color off. That is just an ugly color. Right now we're going more into brown, so let's give it some. A little bit more saturation. Right, but nope. And this is where digital really comes in, because you can actually play around with it until you find that right color. But it'll make that pop off a little bit better. Okay? And then that needs to go down a little bit. It's too close. Because remember, once you shrink all this down, that's the thing you got to remember. You guys got to start thinking again about what happens when you shrink this down, right? So, but yeah, I mean the project, the logo itself, not bad. It's just for a wrong project. All right, no need to dwell. Keep moving. Chris. Save that as 2. All right. And Chris, you need to use a light. Super Stephanie Snacks. I had in my head, but it did not come out the way I wanted. Yeah, I mean this. the technique you're using is not good, right? It seems like you rushed everything, right? I mean, look at that, right? You didn't even attempt to clean it up, right? Here you missed stuff. Here you colored outside the lines, right? This all looks like you rushed it. Right? And then use a template. See? Because at least try and get one solid line, right? This is why you should be using the computer, because right, this is why we got you all that software and stuff. Modify, contract by like 20. Oh. Sorry, I'm gonna put this on a new layer first. Contract by like 20, delete. Right? So now I have this very nice circle. Right? Bam. Now I have something to work with. Right? You don't see it on the screen? It's on the screen, right? Are you doing sketches? That's a good question, Jasmine. Are you doing sketches before you do the final? Because I'm just saying, it's like I really wish that this looked like you didn't just wait until the last minute to try and do it. And we know you can do better. We've seen you do better, right? We've seen you kind of jump to the top of the class. So, you know, this is kind of a letdown. And you know what's this? It doesn't seem intentional. Like why are these going like that? Right? He's saying Stephanie is supposed to read first. I don't see it. Stephanie's supposed to read first? Oh yeah, that is not happening. That is not happening. I mean, if you wanted Stephanie's to read first. Right? You need something like... You want something like that. You want it to be big. Stephanie's. Right? You want if you want Stephanie's to read first, then you got to make sure that we see that. Right? It's got to be huge. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be huge, but it's got to be bigger than the rest. Snacks reads before Stephanie's does. Right? And the colors you are using are just not bright enough. Right? And I know you're going, oh, well, it's the markers. And it's like, remember, you shouldn't blame your tools. And granted, it's really hard to get supplies during the pandemic. I get that. Right? But you know what you have, and not to mention, you have Photoshop. Or you should. Because we got it for you. I know you said you were having problems, but everyone else so far who has had some problems has been able to fix them. And it's normally because you signed up some way that was different. You're on the list. You're in the system. If they're like, he needs to go do this, you need to tell them that I've already done it. Right? And that they need to just reset it. And that's it. And then you'll be good. All right. Stroke. Yep. Stroke bigger on Stephanie's. A brighter color like yellow would have helped. And when you're doing something like this, you know, super and then snacks, because it's right on top of a ball, right? And you kind of want that to round itself out. So, you know, just that alone, if you went And then this P got really big. E, R, super. Alright, Lollipop Man, thanks for stopping in. Thanks very much. Should be streaming later on today with my kids, so that should be fun. Right? Snacks. Right? And so that way, right? So you see how it moves around, right? And then the A and the C will get bigger, and it looks like it's rounding itself around, right? And then you can, yeah, you know. And then clearly, right? And then we're going to take this apart. That. And Control D, lasso. Okay, then we're going to move this up. Then we're going to draw the rest, right? And then we go. Right, and then we go. Right, Stephanies, and then super snacks. Okay, so that's the thing. It's just not reading. You know, it's not reading the way you want it to. It looks like a bubble instead of like an actual piece of bubble gum, right? I think there are other ways you could have done this. Like if you had someone actually blowing the bubble, and that was, you know, really big and blowing out like that, that would have been great. Yeah, and a thicker stroke on most things right now. Like everything's the same line, so you've got to figure that out. Okay. All right, moving on. Mark. Uh-oh. Okay, Mark. Oops. Wasn't done loading yet. All right. Sea salted Stephanie's sea salted snacks. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, I think that reads. Let's put something in the background though. Nope, not on top. On the background. Alright. I think that works. The only thing is that I know that you were trying to go with an S with the dolphin. Right? I think that you're trying to go with the S with the dolphin, but I think that you would need to make it less like broken. Right? I get it. It's supposed to be in an S, but you would need to find a way to make that less broken. Right? Because I think that you could have... Right? So you have this, which is great. Right? And then maybe it was just... It comes in here, and then it forms into that tail. Right? Maybe it's out that way. Maybe it's not. Maybe it... You actually form it here, and then it kind of... You know, just comes out and becomes the tail. Right? So it's a little less obvious, but we get it. You know, you're like, oh, okay. It's forming like an S. Right? But just a little bit. I think that, yeah, see, I think that if you curved it, right, you just made it a little bit smaller, then it doesn't need to be, that stretched out. But I like the idea. I think the idea is really good. It's a super it's a super stretchy dolphin. But yeah, no, I mean, this reads, I mean, this is great. We get the dolphin, you know. You probably could make this a little smaller. For this, you know, this is a real easy fix. Move it up a little bit. All right. That right there is less like in your face with the dolphin. I think making that a little bit smaller, letting the words and the image work together is actually going to be better. And, you know, make it a little bit smaller, and then, you know what? Go ahead and make him a little less stretchy. Let's see if you can get a thicker stroke on here. All right, I think it would benefit from a thicker stroke. Just around Stephanie, right? Whoops. And, you know, it's instantly going to push some of these letters out because I know that it's all part of the font. Right? But I'm only touching on a few of them. Right? Yeah, just a little bit thicker thicker stroke on Stephanie's, and it'll push that over, and then this needs to move over a little bit. That S is kind of hanging out on its own, right? Right? But yeah, thicker stroke, make the dolphin smaller, and probably less like a gummy dolphin. Right? Try and make that look a little bit more realistic, and you'll be good. Good job. Good job. Like that one. Let's see, what else we got? Save image. This is 3. Open 3. Stephanie's Sea Snacks. All right, so we tried and went basic with this, and I don't think it's really working because it looks like a shattered globe. You know, I don't know. Or if there's supposed to be waves, like if there's supposed to be waves, it'd be more interesting if you actually gave us some type of wave. You know, maybe you did double waves, right? He's like, right? So you're like waves. Whoosh. Right, and I guess you'd fill these in. Just real quick. Waves, waves. Clearly you'd have to break them up, it seems like. Like wave. Whatever, right? Something like that. You gave us some type of actual wave. I really don't know what the blue things are. But you know, maybe if you gave us some waves. But after doing this, You know, maybe you did some waves. And you just splash. Right? You could maybe something like that. Right? Get your double waves going on. So it kind of frames it. Whoops. Kind of frames it that way. Right? Maybe even a little less. You know what I mean? Maybe that'll be more interesting, where you've just got these waves interacting with the font a little bit. And maybe it comes in like so. Right? Something a little bit, I mean, I don't know, just something a little bit more interactive with the font, right? Because this right here is such a basic S, and you're like, I don't get it, I don't understand. You know, it's just kind of randomly there. But having something simple like this, right? It gives you that rectangle shape. Wow. It gives you that rectangle shape, you know, that you can place it in. And then Stephanie's Sea Snacks, you can make that a different color if you wanted to make that yellow. Right? Stephanie's Sea Snacks. Right? And that pops out. Maybe even put a black stroke on it. I don't know. Still feel as though this one might need to move in a little bit. But you know what I mean? Like you could still give us that half in and half out type deal. Make it all about the waves. Right? Just like this. Whoops. This just isn't working. So even if you wanted to kind of like, if you use these, right, on the sides, it'd be different. But I think that you need to focus on something more like this than what you already have. Because what's here, whoops, this just isn't working. Right? Because this image does not make sense with that font. Okay? So you really want to make sure that they kind of interact with each other. And this in your spacing, right, needs to move up. Okay? All right, any questions, comments, concerns so far? I know we're still going. I'm just checking in on you guys. Zane. Four. Open. Whoops. Okay, good. Crop it. And then I'm going to go ahead and lighten this up. Just for our sake. Alright. So, to be honest, this looks more like a coupon than it does a logo. There's so much going on here, right? There's so much happening here that it's not making sense. Because like you don't need these hooks, right? Those are not, I don't even know what that is. The thing that on the bottom is like supersize me, right? So I don't even know what that would be. But if you wanted to, right, you could, whoops. Ugh, should probably put that on another layer. Alright, so a horrible fish, but anyway. Yeah. Alright, that's close enough. Alright, so if you had this fish, right, and if that's kind of important, right, you could write everything in that, right? So you have this, and then maybe it's, because I like that. Maybe if it's a solid color. Let's see if we can make it. Trying to use what you already have and see if we can't make it work. Alright, so we got our fish, and then let's see. If we had that and that was the most important, I think maybe what you have is fine, but to be honest, I think I'd want to have, like, you know, you got that, right? And you see the fish behind it, and then you can, you know, and it's like sea snacks. Right? Kind of reminds me of like a, almost like a Japanese steakhouse or something like that right now, with the red fish and whatnot. You know, it's like Steph's sea snacks. I could see this on a menu, right? Alright, and then you go ahead and center it between the two S's. Whoops. Alright. Something as simple as that. You know, and then what's actually the logo that you would put on, you know, hats and stuff would be just this. Actually, I'd probably leave it. Like if I was doing a logo and I was putting it on a shirt, I would definitely have it like that, so you knew, because just Steph's is one thing, but if you're like Steph's and then little font, of course, you know, you'd find a stronger font. Like I'm just handwriting it right now, but you find a nice, sleek, thin, you know, elegant looking font, and you have that under maybe the very creative, elaborate, you know, name Steph's, right? And that has that one really, really cool looking font, and then underneath it, it's all business, right? And it's just sea snacks. Okay, not necessarily is it better to have more stuff. Okay, you got to remember that. But in the end, if you use less stuff, that has to be on point, right? Like you got to make sure that that's exactly what what you're trying to say. Okay. I think some deeper thumbnails, you know, a deeper look at thumbnails would probably be better, and then just see how little you need in order to make sure that it's actually working. Right? We need to make sure that you guys get that. It's not necessarily trying to put more and more stuff on. Okay? Next. Stephanie, let's see what you got. Throw background on it. All right, here's another, it's another example of putting too much stuff together, right? It's not always necessary that we make everything bigger. Or not bigger, but have it filled with things. Like it doesn't have to be that way. But there's that anchor. That's that anchor I was looking for. Right? But it's not, the anchor's not attached to anything. It's just kind of extra. Right? It's extra. Why not, why not get rid of this? Right? We get rid of that. We come in here and we try and do something with this anchor. The anchor isn't really necessary. Nope. Won't fit on the candy. Nope. Right? So we're going to copy it, paste it underneath there. Then, what is this? This one? Alright, so then we're going to erase this one. Alright, so now we have sort of an anchor, right? Why not just... Let's see, how do we want this? That's not going to work that way, so maybe we flip it this way. Alright, so we have this nice anchor. And then we're going to try and rotate it. Remember, I'm just taking what you guys have already given me to try and make this work. Right, but then we kind of do something like that to try and attach it to something. And maybe we take this. Whoops. Okay, then we can drop this. Alright, maybe you just need that anchor. Maybe that's all we'll do. Oops. Come in here. Wait a minute. Alright. So we do that. Erase this because that's no longer necessary. Right, and of course there'd be the circle, the rest of that circle there, so there'd be the rest of this anchor, right? But just in case you're still trying to keep the idea of this little curve here, so you got Steph's, and then, you know, this would clearly have to move down a little bit. And the font's really hard to read. The sea salt snacks. So definitely, I understand where you're going with it, right? It's like it's a little C or toffee or something like that. So I see that, but you know. Do something like that if everything needed to be blue, right? But you could definitely play around with the color of stuff. It needs a stronger stroke around the sea salt snacks, because right now it's just hard to read. Like that, the sea salt snacks is really hard to read. But I mean, you see how? Move that up. There you go. Right there. Nothing too much. We understand. We didn't need an ocean. We didn't need candy. You know, we didn't need any of that. Here's an anchor. We instantly put that in with C. Watch those tangents. You know, instantly goes in with the ocean and sea and stuff like that. We're like, all right, cool, I got it. The anchor is not that strong, right? Because we dropped the opacity of that, throwing it into the background instantly, giving us a foreground, middle ground, background, things that we're supposed to see as far as hierarchy of shapes. Right? But it's super simple. Right? Super simple. Okay? Don't overdo this. Don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. It's all making sense. You getting it? So, from Twitch, I was told those are some very adorable candies. Alright, so look at the thumbs. Okay. Stephanie's Super Snacks. You know what? It's not... That super is not... It's not working in there. Looks spicy. It's like that's really not working. Now, maybe if you put like super on the inside of everything and made us had to like search for it. Because right now, the super in and of itself is kind of losing its impact because it's so small in this gigantic S. I also feel like there should be a larger S and use for all three. Yeah, I would agree. If you're really trying to put super in there. But if you're trying to get a little bit creative, right? So if you're going to use the S. Alright, so that means we got to... So we got to use that. So we're going to use the U, P, E. Yeah, see, that's not going to get us all the way over. Because I was thinking about just using a knockout, right, to have the letters in there. And I mean, I guess you could push it even further, right? So this U is all the way here, but it's going to be really hard to read. So that plan's not going to work. And I think your hierarchy is wrong. right? Because you got this here as being the most important one, which is snacks. But to be honest, the thing that really needs to be emphasized is Stephanie's, right? Because hers is the important part. Distance, the super was a gradient. Right? So it's not, because maybe if you see how you have this already turning, right? So you have this. Maybe if you wrote out super, or if you put it on a path, right? So you make the S path and then you spell out super and then let the computer figure it out, and then you put the S around that, right? If you really need that to be there, but I don't see that working. I mean, if you're gonna try and keep it super simple, you're just gonna really have to, raise this one up. This goes up, Stephanie's, and then you put super snacks underneath it, right? And then maybe you are trying to emphasize the fact that super and snacks are the most important. So if you did that, right? So we're like, right? And you got this big S, right? And then this one's like, whoops. Stephanie's, and then super snacks, right? And then maybe these are red, just like the same layout that you have would work, right? I feel like it'd be a nice template for a restaurant logo. Yeah, I could see that. But I think if you use these colors, if you use those colors like red, if you use basic colors, or if you use the basic superhero colors, you could have superhero snacks, right? And then maybe you'd have you have this S and it's got a little cape. Right? And then it's still Stephanie's super snacks. Right, but then you use red, yellow, blue. Right, so maybe you have a yellow cape outlined in blue, and then or black, whatever. And then maybe you still do what you have, right? And you're like, Stephanie super. No, I think you could leave it all the same, right? And be like super snacks, and it's just this part's really big, right? And then maybe this is where the blue comes back in. I don't know. This is something you'd have to play around with. Right? And now it's more of a very fun, very fun, like, kids thing, maybe. Yes, I'm getting close. I'm getting close to my subs. I'm getting really close. Alright? So maybe you could do that. Maybe even have a black outline around there. I think that would work. I think that's actually fun, like this one works based on what you were trying to use, just the 3 words you were using. I think that if you used red, yellow, and blue, and maybe black if you want to do an outline or something like that, then you can do that. All right, Chad. I'll see you later. Have fun playing Mario. Okay, but I think this is the way you should go with this one if you were to do it. Okay? That's the last one. Alright. Alright, so we had some... I mean, I think we kind of... We're going downwards. You gotta stop that. And I know there's so many people who are like, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. You got 2 weeks left. Alright, you have 2 weeks left and the whole thing's over. Okay? And the thing is, you're gonna have to step it up. You're gonna have to step it up for your final, okay? And I'm gonna tell you what it is. You guys ready? Sarge. Stop rocking back and forth. Squeaking all over the place. Oh no, what do you mean, oh no? It's final time. You guys should be ready. Final. Final. Alright. Only one person's worried? Well, we're going to tell you about it. Alright, so everything we've done, we've been doing a lot of logos. We did a poster design, right? Something cool like that. You know, granted, we had some stuff that would have been extra, but with the COVID-19 virus running rampant, stuff happened and it just didn't work out that way, right? But what we are going to be doing is an identity package. You are going to be doing an identity package, okay? And what an identity package is that it is literally, not literally a package, but it is a group of things that you have put together that cohesively shows this is the same company, right? It's like branding. You are branding the idea of what this company is. So when they get something, right? If you got something in the mail or if you ordered something, you knew exactly, oh, well, this is Steph's, right? This is coming from this company, right? So it's an identity package. And generally, if you look it up, there are different things that people put in, but they're definitely standards. And I have some, I thought I had more, but I have some from previous classes, okay? So here's one that was done for a class. Okay, it was a health and awareness. It was Morgan's Wellness. And while not necessarily the best, because it is really harping on, it's got a lot of bright colors, which I think needs to be muted. But the whole idea, when you look at this, you're like, oh, okay, I understand. Everything that has this is the same. And it's business cards, it's the logo, it's envelopes, invoices, stationery, letterhead, t-shirt, bottle, you know, lanyard, right? And we also had phone screensavers. Okay, so it's literally, you are branding a company. You're going, hey, if you get an envelope, like if you got this envelope in the mail, when you looked at it, you're like, oh, this is from Morgan's Wellness. Like, you see it and you instantly knows what it's from, right? That's what we want. That is the idea of a identity package. Okay, let's show you another one. Okay. Same idea, right? Not as nicely put together as far as the quality of what's going on, but you know, it's got an invoice, a to-do list, the phone screensavers, envelopes, business cards, lanyards, shirt, keychain, water bottle. All right, but when you look at this, could have been done a little bit better, but when you look at this, you're like, oh, okay. Look at one more. All right, this one was for Atlantis Games. You're doing the identity package. I'm planning on getting sick for the next 2 weeks, so this is not that hard. All right. The whole thing is about layout. What this assignment teaches you is layout. How to make something look good with, because pretty much all you're doing is using the logo and the colors, so it's completely up to you. All right. if we have a personal brand, could we make our own? That would be a no. Because the thing is that what's going to happen is I'm about to give you the company that you have to design for, right? You're making it up. Okay? Okay? But, you know, if you look at this, it's like games, and there's something simple. It's like, all right, so there's blue and white, so it's like we did some pens. This should have had a logo on it, right? But putting together envelope, it's got the logo on it. It's very simple. Business cards. But the thing is, let's start a new one, right? So let's say, all right, so we start something new, right? And we're gonna go, all right, so we're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna go select. If I contract by, I don't know, 10. That's too much. All right, so we're gonna select and contract by 5. All right, so there we go. So there's my business card, right? Makes me think of the, let's see. So basically, design everything that would be in the company like as if we were promoting the idea of the business. Yes, well, you're promoting the idea of the business. We're promoting branding, okay? So I'm going to do this business card. I'm going to show you something, right? All right, let's see. If I were to... We're going to go ahead and take... I'm going to go ahead and take the copy of my logo. All right, so now, first thing you would do, you're like, all right, we've designed this very huge logo. All right, so we're going, that represents this company. Great, all right? I approved this and was like, all right, cool. So now we need to make a business card, right? So we're going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to go, we need to put multiply. All right, so now I'm going, all right, so what do I want the back of my business card to look like, right? A lot of people will go in and they're like, all right, back of the business card. And this might work depending on what you're going for, right? And you're just like, there you go. Back of the business card, very solitary, bam, done, right? And you can do that if you wanted to, right? But if I was to do this, and I'm going to show you why in a minute, right? But if I'm to do this, I would probably try and do something like this, right? And then I would come in and erase this. Whoops. All right, so I would do that, right? And here's why. So I know, because I've been doing some other stuff, but if you go to my website, right, what would you see? Bam, right? It's this quarter face, it's this half face, right? So I'm going, all right, here's my unifying element. It's this half face. This is what I'm doing, right? And you're like, oh, okay, I see that. And it's just like, all right, if I go to artwork, right, that's my unifying piece, is I have that face. So if I have a unifying piece, I might as well go ahead and keep it going, right? Okay, bam, there's my half face, right? That's for what I would do now. And then I would put something in here. You know, I put some type of information in this open space, right? This works really well for when I'm going, this would be a great front of the business card, and it's like, broad Tillerman, right? Autist. And then phone number 555-123-4. Email, right? Email, right? And then you put that information here, and you're like, all right, cool, that's great. Now we got to go, well, what's going to be on the back of the card, especially if I keep it white. I don't know why I just did that. Okay, so now I'm going, all right, here's the back. Now we're looking at the back of the business card, right? Okay, what do I want to do with the back of the business card? Okay, how do I want to make this interesting? Do I put a phrase back here? What am I, what is it that I want to do? That's the key. And then we come back over here, all right? You select your logo. You're like, all right, cool. All right, throw this back over here. Like this needs to be on multiply as well. Right? And so now we're like, all right, well, what do I want to do? How do I want to brand this? Do I want to keep this here? Right? Do I make it a lot bigger? Right? Because it's on the background now. And I just... Right? So it's striking when you get it. And you're like, all right, I'm going to do this. Right? And then when you see it, you're like, oh, okay, that's the eyeball thing. And then maybe, we come in and we're like, all right, we'll put a little something here. Covers it. And then, I don't know, it says, and this is where I would follow the Kaiser, right? And you're like, oh, okay, maybe the inside's red, maybe it's white. This is what you would have to practice, right? You have to figure it out. But now I'm going, all right, well, I'm going to have an invoice, right? Which you will just look up a template for an invoice, or you can make your own. It's completely up to you. Contract 5, right? So now I have this, and I'm going, all right, what am I going to do? How am I going to keep this consistent? What do I want to do? Do you keep it as easy as okay, do we keep it as easy as we take this, make it nice and big, right? And then come in so we can erase some of this stuff out, right? All right, so now that's there, right? Like we see it, but it's not necessarily the most dominant thing. And now we can come in and go, all right, so it's already branded, right? We've got that half face, got it. And then you're like, all right, so this is where I'm going to put whatever information. Select, modify, contract, 5. Right? You would put text here. Right? Whatever your invoice would be. Right? So you'd have your invoice there. This is the information for the rest of the invoice, right? Name, address, who it's going to, blah, 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 blah. And then maybe you have a little bit of information down here. You can look up a template, right? That's completely up to you. But the thing is that technically this logo would be going through it, but I have drawn over it. So, you know, let's try this. So if I did this again, alright, whatever. Come in here like so, and then we were to drop that. Right? Because I have another one behind it, it's kind of odd. But I think you get the point. Right? So you have that. We have the side face. It's going that way. It's looking... We're branding everything. Right? Envelope would be the same way. You just pick up... you pick up something. And then here's the thing. You have to use the colors that you're using. Right? You have to brand whatever colors it is that you're using. So... if I'm like, all right, so I'm using red, right? I'm using this red, and it's red, white, and black. Like, that's my thing, okay? So then, since you don't ever really want to work with, like, red ink, that means that, you know, you come here, and you're like, all right, every border is going to be red, right? Every line that needs to happen... right? And then here. Right? So then it's red. Then the text, any text that you put in there, like pricing, a description, all that stuff will be black. Maybe this whole thing is black, red, right? Because that's important. So we go, right? So that whole thing is red, but then you give it a border that's black, right? So now you have a red and black border, right? And then maybe everything you type in here is white, right? Because it's more permanent or it's more fixed. But whatever your choices, and so you pick your template, and then whatever the choices that you want to make, that's what's going to happen, all right? Like, that's how you fix this, but you got to pick a color template, right? Don't have a quadrillion colors. Then you got to pick how you want to lay it out as well, because, you know, maybe you're going, you know what? That's not exactly what I want. All right, you're like, I don't want to just use the face. Like, all right, cool. So if you decided maybe triangles were better. Whoops. I don't know what happened there. Right? You're like, oh, I'm going to do triangles. So we got red. All right, and then we're going to come up here. Right, and then... all right, maybe the red goes over it. Maybe it would need to go behind it. I don't know, right? That's for you to figure out. And now you have this interesting shape, right? It's like, all right, that's cool. And then I would probably drop that too, right? So that your colors, you don't want your colors to be overwhelming, right? Sometimes it's fine. You have to test it. Does it work? Are you giving blocks like I did here, right? Are you actually separating stuff out so that you can see it, right? Does it matter how strong your colors are? But whatever it is, that's up to you. You are the designer, right? You are the designer. And it's all going to be based off of what the company is and what logo you create for them. Okay? Are we good so far? Who's lost? What is the size? Well, you're going to want to make sure everything is the right size. So if you're doing letterhead, it should be 8.5 by 11, right? And here's the thing, since you're submitting it all on PDFs, that's all that matters, right? Business cards are 2.5 by 3.5. And you want to make sure that they're all those sizes, because once you combine them all into one PDF, it doesn't matter, right? So you don't have to print anything out. So just make it whatever the actual size is, save them in a folder, and then put it all together, because there are elements that you're going to have to complete, right? Okay, so there's no 11 by 17 or 6 by 9s. Well, you really should be doing this on the computer. Really should be doing this on the computer. Okay? I'm telling you, because it's going to be so much easier to do it on the computer. And if you're looking at like, oh, it's 11 by 17, but this needs to be 8.5 by 11, turn it sideways, then you have two 8.5 by 11s. Are you going to post the exact details of this? Yes. I'm also going to tell you here in a second. But yes, I'm going to put it up in the discussion board. Alright? So, actually we can go ahead and type it out in black. Sorry, someone... I don't even know. Okay, so, things you will have to do. Okay, logo, which you cannot read. Let's give you a very easy font. Logo. Alright, you're going to need to do a logo. 1. An envelope. Front and back. Business card. Front and back. Invoice. What all is in the package? I'm doing it right now. What do you mean, no? I'm not going to post any of the details. Of course I am. Invoice. Letterhead. So far, so good. Stationery. See, I really want you to do... Oh, that's right. Postcard. Front. Front and back. This is too much. What are you talking about? You're supposed to be doing it on the computer. Do you really need another Tillman Tuesday? But Zane will be left out. If we don't do a Tillman Tuesday, Zane will be left out. ask Zane if he's okay with not doing one. Stationery, anything that you would write on. Like if you were doing post-it notes, you could do that. Or if you were doing one of those, I don't have one. One of the like little pads of paper where you just take quick notes and stuff. When you go to like the doctor's office or anything like that, and they have a pad of paper that has their logo and information on it, and then you can just scribble on it, right? You can put the logo. You can make a watermark of the logo. You can, yeah, notepads. Wow, the chat is late. Hold on. It's too much. Could you quickly elaborate? Yep, cool with that. Oh, this Anatone Tuesday? Lol. Notepads, the chat is late. Question, got it. When is this due? It's same time it's always due, on the 29th. No, the 30th. 30th. Okay. And then, wait, so there's still other things. For leave behinds. Pencils, or pens, or hats, or t-shirts, shirts, or water bottles, or keychains, etc. That should, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. Like 7 minutes late. Oh wow. That's really late. Okay. Yeah, so that should be it. I'm not this early. Well, I could go on. Like if we did this elsewhere, I would keep going, because there's still some other stuff that would be cool to have in this for your portfolio, so that you could have some really nice work. This gives you multiple things that you can use, right? But this will be enough for today. Okay? Now, because I can't let you guys go off on your own, you know, and be like, hey, do whatever you want, because we won't know. That's fine. What? That's the only reason? Oh. So, where was I? Oh yeah, I can't let you guys do your own thing. You can do your own on your own. But so that we can all be part of one group, right? You really want to make sure that this is working, okay? Now, so what I'm going to give you is the same thing that I gave the last graphic design class, and I hope you guys do a way better job than they did, okay? So I'm going to let you actually toy around with a product that I'm actually in development with, okay? And so what it is, the company itself is Kaiser Studio Productions, okay? That's my company that I do a lot of my artistic work for. And we are actually expanding into education, okay? We want to do online courses and to get people the specific things that they want, because you get a lot of, you know, this is how you draw, this is how you draw, this is how you draw, and I want to go, this is how you draw weapons, right? Or this is how you draw characters, or this is character design that pushes beyond what you're normally used to. So we're going to be doing online education, and it's going to be called Kasai, okay? So it's K.S. E.I. All right, and Kasai stands for Kaiser School, and then of Electronic Illustration. All right, and it stands for Kaiser School of Electronic Illustration. Okay, and we are we are looking now to brand this sub company of Kasai, which is a school, online school, so a Kaiser School of Electronic Illustration. And you guys get to design our identity package for us, okay? And I will throw in the logo that I use for Kaiser Studio Productions into the either into the discussion board or the content, course content, so that you can pull that. You cannot just use that though, okay? That's the thing, because this is something different. So this is the Kaiser School of Electronic Illustration, i.e. Kasai, and so you have something to go off of, right? Here's going to be my actual logo that I use for everything. You can use that to start, so you're not starting off from scratch, okay? There you go. Online education, broken down into tiers for everybody, giving you exactly what you want. Kaiser School of Electronic Illustration. Okay? I don't know why you guys are all freaked out with all these emojis and stuff. What's going on? What's the matter? It's like reference. Yep. It's like reference. Nope. No. You do not need to redesign this logo. Okay? That is just reference. Like, so you have a feel of what my company looks like or stands for. You're like, okay, I see this. Now how can I make Kasai, right? It's something different, right? Kaiser Studio Productions is an entertainment company, and Kaiser School of Electronic Illustration is an online education company. Okay? So you do not have to redesign this logo. You need to come up with another one. This logo is just reference. Okay, and my colors are literally these that you see. It's black, red, and white. I mean, you could see the other students' work if we were at school, but I don't have that because they had to print theirs out, so I don't have digital copies of anything on what to do if they were do that bad. Like I said, if we were at school, I would show you every last one of them. But considering that we are not, I don't have it. I didn't even really think about, hey, let me bring all this stuff with me when they're like, hey, all right, it's spring break. You know what I mean? So. Jasmine, you say sorry you're not doing it? Really? Why? It's just another client. Except that I actually exist. Is this mandatory? It's your final. Yeah. You can change up the colors. It's completely on you. You would be presenting this to me going, hey, this is what I think should happen. That's it. You can change the colors if you want to. Like I said, this is a start. This gives you everything that you need to start with. What you decide to do or where you go with it is completely up to you, right? I've changed clients' colors all the time. It was like, you know what, these would work better. And if they accept it, that's great. If they don't, right, then you have to give them what they want. And at this point, you're like, here's my final. This is what we're doing. Everything. Oh, I'm stuck in your class with this. I'm stuck in your other class. Like, this is too much for me. I mean, I hate to be the one to say it, but I mean, you did take on 2 of my classes. It's generally not a good look, right? It's a lot of work. It always comes down. I mean, the fact that all of this work hasn't happened after midterm. Like, this assignment was coming after midterm. there was a completely different final for what we needed, but with inspirational hope coming in, and then, you know, all this other things that was coming in from the department that we had to do, this got pushed. But this would have happened a lot easier, a lot sooner, and the stuff that you would have got would have been a lot harder. Kaiser means emperor in German. So there's nothing that we can't change about the project? What do you mean that you can't change? I don't know what you would mean that you can't change. What would you change? I'd rather do a logo than just being on it. Than this just being honest, or like a poster. Well, you have to do a logo. That was the first thing that you have to do. You have to do a logo. I was gonna put poster on there, but everyone was stressing out about being doing the poster that I didn't put it on there. Right? So that's the thing. You'd have to do a logo and a poster. This is your final. A little more about these elements. It should have been Mocha Hope. Ah. Okay. Here's the thing. I will be willing to switch it to Mocha Hope. I'll be willing to switch to Mocha Hope. I think this one would be more, this one would be more in a professional manner, but if you guys want to do Mocha Hope, if that'll make you guys feel better about it, then I'm willing to listen to that request. As far as all the measurements, go look them up. Right? Envelopes have size, because here's the thing. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to look up the sizes, right? You're probably going to get a template to make it easier for you, so you're not drawing everything out. You just go, here's my template for an envelope. All right, let me put that on there, like put my stuff on there, and then you're going to save each individual element into a folder, and then make one PDF for all these elements. I have to get a majority vote on whether you want to stick with this or if you want to do Mocha Hope. Like I said, I think that this would be a little bit more on the professional side, but since that has been a theme for us all semester, we can. Like I said, if you don't want to, that's fine. You have this. If you do, that's fine. If that makes you feel any better. Mocha Hope was a mistake that was made for Inspirational Hope, for the assignment for Inspirational Hope. At this point, I don't care. Not have a say, but give them the option to do either one. Can we have a choice of both? I was just playing. We have more to go off of with this, though. I like this one. You like this one? It seems like more people are going towards Kasai. Like, I want to have one thing. Like, I want to have one consistent thing, and it seems like the majority of people are going with Kasai. So I wouldn't even know what to do with Mocha Home. At least we have one more information. All right, fine. We're gonna stick with Kasai. We're gonna stick with Kasai then. All right, there you go. All right. Anything else? Questions? Thoughts? Like I said, the measurements, just look them up and grab templates. All right? You're just doing layout, so you're not trying to measure out what the envelope is. Get a template. put the template in your picture, and then put your design over top of it. Okay? And you still have like a good week to be posting in the discussion board, posting, you know, coming to the live stream and like, hey, look, I posted in the discussion board, so that we can bring it up and look and try and guide you before it's time to the end, right? So now's a good time to make sure that you post inside of that, all right? Sketches for low, yeah, on the discussion board. Post all that stuff on the discussion board, okay? And then we'll look at it, and I'll look at it, and then we can make comment suggestions and stuff like that, right? We want to make sure that this one, that you have a really nice product at the end, okay? We good? Sound good? We there? Any questions? Like, Chris, I still didn't see what you said when you're like, so there's nothing that we can nothing that we can't change. Like, what are you talking about? You mean like color or design? Because you can't change what's required, and you can't change the actual company. No, I'm gonna go to sleep. All right, you're more than welcome to go to sleep. Sounds good enough. Yes, it's a final. All right, well, if that's it, if that's where we are, if everyone's cool, I'm good. You answered it basically. Okay. If that's it, if we're good, if you're good, I'm good, we're all good, then I'll go ahead and sign off and let you guys get to work. I will put this information on there shortly, right? Because it's really easy to just copy this, so I'll put that information on there shortly. Description of the company and the logo that's already been done. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. You have ideas, go ahead and get started. All right, so thank you guys. You've been very vocal, very productive. Let's finish off strong. Okay, and let's go ahead and finish off strong. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay productive, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. All right, take care.